Alright, hello everybody, how are you all doing today? I myself am doing well and pretty excited today because I am going to be going over the underground, which is probably the most expansive thing that I have done for Higher Than the Sky. It is so expansive that I created a whole section of the story for it. Originally, it was only supposed to be something that was in 1, 2, 3 chapters at most, and but there were things about it that I just wanted to keep exploring, and so here it is. Get ready to visit the underground. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, let's get into it, actually. So, the underground is ruled by what I call the slumlords. There are 3 warring factions and 2 essentially neutral factions. There is Big Business, who controls the center of the underground, which has the only elevator out of the underground. Big Business is just that. They're not really meant to be multifaceted, because even though I did expand the plot that happens in the underground, I haven't really expanded stories to have Victor go and meet every slumlord. That's not a thing that happens in the underground. So I didn't think to force it to happen, really. So as he owns the elevator outside of the underground, everyone essentially owes him a debt if they want to get out, and the price is, of course, high. The next neutral faction is Granny Nobody, who takes care of all the nameless, so children who have been used to pay off debts and things of that nature, who were born in the underground but were unwanted and left behind. So she's kind of corralled all of them, and that's why it's a neutral faction, because if the other slumlords want to grow, they essentially just have to leave the kids alone and let them grow up in not what I would call a safe environment, but an environment that really tests them and shows them where they'll eventually end up within the other 4 factions. So, say a kid who is a really good fighter, or a kid who is really good at creating using scrap metal and things of that nature, they will move around between the slumlords until they find what place suits them the most. And this is how you gain a last name in the underground. So that's why all the leaders have a second name to them. So there is, again, Big Business, Granny Nobody. There is also Boss Wreck, Miss Glory, and the 5th one, Alpha Pack. So if you joined Alpha Pack's, if you joined under Alpha Pack, you would become something like Scrap Pack or Rat Pack, things of that nature. If you join under Boss Wreck, you would become like a character Broken Wreck or Savage Wreck, and things of that nature. That faction, the Wrecks are the ones that want Victor the most at the beginning of the story because of his name. Because when he was a nameless, he would be winning fights, and so he gained the first name Victor, and so being Victor, the Wrecks want him the most because the Wrecks themselves are essentially the strong guy faction, the guys who get it done with just pure muscle. The Alpha Pack is the faction that is best at doing scrap metal. They work together a lot of the time, and they fight a lot of the time in packs. So it's very wolf-based, kind of almost in that nature. And Ms. Glory, she essentially rules what I would call like the psychotics. I would call the psychotics. She is heavily into the drug business, and so she is a major drug supplier of the underground, while next to big business. Although big business can do more technical stuff because of where he rules, and so the three major factions that are at war at all times are those ones, and they're always recruiting members. And that's not to say that they're the absolute only factions as well. There are many miniature factions that take growth within the underground, but are usually absorbed or crushed by the slum lords, so they're very secretive. They don't really have the last name aspect to them, because that's just a dead giveaway and things of that nature. There are other ways to get out of the underground. They are the chutes. So one thing is that it is a junk city, it is a scrap metal city, things are always falling down into it. Of course, nobody lives around under a chute. That would just be crazy. One day, just a ship that's been scrapped comes down and crushes your house, things of that nature. Those are unprohibited and just a bad idea all around. So you can climb up the chutes, but they are very steep. They're filled with oil. You can cut yourself very easily, and you don't know when something's just going to come down and crush you. The chutes are a very dangerous option, although they are an option for people to try if they don't want to be indebted to big business himself. Let me check my notes here if I've missed anything else. I've already gone through the name list, the glories, Alpha Pack. And I should also mention that the Bazaar is also where trade happens, and that's held under big businesses space. So some scenes do take place there. And again, if you want to get to an area where you don't have to fight the Bazaar and the under Granny Nobody are essentially off limits, things of that nature. So the underground is supposed to be crime ridden. It's a scrap city. Everyone's scavenging for what they can get. And essentially I'm trying to get as many parts of each faction into Victor so that he can be a more well-rounded character. Otherwise, I think that about does it for the underground. I can't really think of anything else. Otherwise, thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and go ahead and comment and leave questions about how I could grow this city or things of that nature, how I'm going to be using the environment as its own character, and things of that nature. Alright, I'll see you guys next time and take care.